Yes, you guys. We are going to be practicing the silent E. This is going to be for our spelling words. Go ahead and start by putting your name at the top, your number, and today's date. Okay. Before we start practicing the silent E, which we use at the end of words, we need to also have a very good understanding of our vowels because, and I'm going to just use scratch paper. If you want to use the back, you can use the back. The silent E, we don't hear at the end of words. It comes at the end, but it is silent. But it does have a superpower. Silent E, superpower. And its superpower is that it helps the vowels. Well, I know that the vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. And if the silent E is going to help each of these letters, these vowels, we need to know how the vowels work. There are two versions. We have short and long. And the way that I like to show that it's a short or long vowel is simply by this. I use two little symbols. If it's short, I just draw a little short sign on top. And for lowercase, it looks like this. Let me give myself some space. So I like to use just this to show that it's a short vowel. And the reason I use that is because it's just a short sound. But for the long vowel, I do it a little bit differently. I draw a line on the bottom to show that it's a long vowel. Well, if I have a long vowel, the long vowel is going to actually say its name. The long sound is the name of the letter. So, for example, I'm going to give you a few words. Cape, k, ape. The A says its name. Let's do this says Pete, p, eat. P, eat. Pete. The E on the end is silent. And I'm going to stop right here because I don't want you to think we should just know. I know that this is going to be long A because the E is there. They work together. I'm just going to bridge them. They work together to make the long vowel sound. So what this really looks like is k, ape, k, ape, because the E, the silent E, is giving the vowel its superpower to be the long vowel sound and say its name. So let's do it for I. It's not kit, it's kite, because the E is giving the I his superpower, making him say his name. Because if it's just it, then the E doesn't need to be there. But the E is giving him his superpower to say a kite. Kite. They work together to make that long vowel sound. Let's do long O. I'm going to do something you all have. A nose. Well, I know this is not nose because the O says its name. The E is there to help, not aw. It's O. O's. So let me trace those. It's going to be the long because the E is there to help him. It's going to make him say his name. So O's. Nose. All right, let's do U. You hear Miss Ambrose say this a lot in class. This is not dud, it's dude. Hey, dude. Or, oh my gosh, dude. Dude. I know that the U makes the U sound because it's going to say its name. The E is there to help him. So let's trace this out. He's the long vowel, so I'm putting my line. And I'm giving that E on the end. So we would spell this out like d-ood, dude, d-ood, d-ood, dude, d-ood, dude. I hope that makes sense. I think I said it funny for that one, but it will make the U sound, so d-ood. There we go. I think I did that better. Okay. The difference between short and long. These are all long vowels. I can use those same things on the short side. It just is going to look different and sound different because I don't have the silent E helping. So instead of ape and making the A sound, I'm going to say app. Now the A says ah. I'll do that in green so you can see. Now this has the short vowel sound, but there is no silent E. I can use the same thing. Instead of eat, I can just do et. Now it has the eh sound instead of the E sound. This is not Pete because there's no superpower E on the end. It's et, pet. All right, let's do the same thing. This is not kite because there's no superpower E to help the I say its name. So we give him a short vowel sound, and it is k, it, kit. I will use a similar one because Nas is not really a word that we use, like cap, pet, kit. It doesn't really exist. So let me see what I could give you instead. Okay. And I'll show you the difference over here on this side. What I'm going to do is this. There is no silent E on the end. So we cannot make the vowel say his name. He's going to make the short O sound, which is aw, odd. If I add that silent E, it would look like this. O D. Then it would be code, because the O now has the E to help him say his name. So what it looks like is ode, code. Odd, because there's no E to make him say his name. Odd, short vowel sound, versus, oh, I do have the E to help me. Ode. All right, let's do you. And same thing for dude, D-U-D, dud. I mean, we, I guess, could use it. I don't think it's proper, so I'm going to give you a different example for both of that, which is this. What does that say? This is tub, t-ub. This is a short vowel sound because there is no E to make him long. So we will use t-ub, like a bathtub. But if I want to make it long, I can add that E on the end. And it will change the way that the U sounds. So we could say t-oob. And it would look like this. That E is going to help the U say his name. So it would go t-oob, tube. They have different sounds, all of them. Short and long vowels. We're going to have to practice this a lot in class. Okay, so now that we know how the E helps the vowel say its name, we're going to flip to this side and we're going to think about, okay, what does this actually say without the silent E? I know what the word probably is going to be because we're smart kids, right? But what does that actually say if there's not a silent E on the end to help it? So if I can just cover it up, like I'll just cover. If without adding the E on the end, this does not say locate. This says locat. It says ah. The A does not say his name yet. We cannot say locate because there's no E yet. So right now, I know that my spelling is wrong because it says locat. We need the E to help us. So I'm just going to trace this A. Sorry there. I'm just going to trace this A and then write my E. Locate. Locate. Now I have locate because the E is helping the A say A, not ah. All right, I'm going to cover this up too. Right now we have delete. That is not a word. We have to add the silent E. It's going to make the vowel say his name. Now we have d, e, l, eat, delete. Delete. Okay, let's do this one. Exit, X, exit. It says I, but I cannot make it. I have to, that doesn't make sense. That's not excite. Because if the I makes the I sound, we have to give it the silent E to make it have the long vowel sound. Right now, this says alon, but we need it to say alone. Own. Own. To make it say O, to make it say its name, we have to give it the silent E. Confess? Nope. This needs to be the U sound. Use. To make it say U, we have to give it the silent E. Invit, that right now says I, because there's no E to help him say I. Invit is not a word. Invite is. So if I want to say invite, I don't stop here because I have to have the silent E make him say I. Now it's invite. Invite. I invite my friend over. Okay, let's do number 7. It says extreme. Extreme. Well, extreme is not a word. We can say extreme, but to make him say E, I have to give him the silent E to help him. He just jumps one consonant over to help. Now it says extreme. Extreme. All right, number 8. Comput. Comput. That doesn't make any sense. I gotta change the sound of this vowel. Well, how? I gotta give it the silent E. Now it says compute. Compute. Kind of like a computer. All right. Mistack. Mistack? No. But mistake sounds right. But I can't have this A say A. I have to add the silent E first. So if I want to spell mistake, I have to have the silent E. Otherwise, it's mistack. All right, right now the word that we have is remote. Remote. That is not a word. But if I change this O to say its name, remote. Well, how do I make it change his name? I got to add the silent E. Now it's remote. Remote. Okay. I want you now to use each word in a sentence. I'm going to give you a few examples, but you cannot take mine. It says use each word in a sentence. Use a capital letter and correct punctuation. I'm going to switch to my green marker because it's easier to write with. So this word says not locat, locate. So an example is I need to locate my phone. I always lose my phone. Capital letter, period at the end. All right, delete. Capital letter, because it's the beginning of my sentence. Remember, you're not using the same sentences as me. Come up with your own. These are just examples. Miss Ambrose needs to delete, don't forget that E, her messages. I'm putting an exclamation point because I really do need to do that. I have a million messages. Or I could say Miss Ambrose needs to delete her emails because my emails are so long. Okay, the next word is excite. Nope, the E makes the I say his name, so it is excite. I want to excite my students. Period. Just a statement. All right, now I'm on Alon. Nope, it doesn't say it says O. It says his name. Alone. I can say my puppy doesn't like to be alone. All right, number 5, confuse, not confuss. This does not say the sound. It says the long U. Confuse. He did not want to confuse them. If you have to write small or just like use the space here, that's fine. You don't have to make super long sentences. Just try to use it the best as you can. All right, remember, not in vi. It doesn't say I. That's the short vowel sound. The long says I. It says his name. So it should say I. Invite. The E helps that I say his name. Did you invite her? And that's a question, so I'm going to use a question mark. Did you invite her? Extreme. The E helps this E vowel say his name. So it's not extreme with the E sound. It's E. Extreme. Let's see. I like extreme sports. I like extreme sports. Extreme sports is kind of just like, I always think of when they have like the dirt bikes and they're going up those crazy hills and they're racing. I always think that's really interesting because I don't think I could ever do that. All right, let's do number 8. Compute. Not comput. Compute. Because the U says his name with the help of the silent E. And compute is a little hard to use in a sentence if you don't really know what that word means. Compute means to like, it kind of is like, did you do that? Did you get that? Did you compute that? Did you understand? So if I said, did you compute that? That means, did you understand that? If you have a hard time using this in a sentence, look it up. That's a tricky one. I'll be honest with you. All right, not misstack because the A does not say the A needs to say his name. Mistake. Sometimes we always capitalize I. Sometimes I make mistakes. Even if I add that S here, I still have that silent E. Mistakes. All right, last one, remote, not remote, because the ah sound is short vowel. The E helps him be long and say his name. So it's remote. I lost the remote. Oh, what did I forget right here? I forgot my dang period. There it goes. Sometimes I make mistakes. I lost the remote. All right, down here it says make your own example. I want you to think of a word that has the silent E. Okay? Think of a word that has the silent E. Or maybe it makes a long vowel sound. So think of a word that makes a long vowel sound, which means it says A, E, I, O, or oo, U. It will literally say that sound in the word. And think, do you need to add a silent E on the end? On Friday, you have your spelling test. So the rest of the week, I want you practicing spelling these words with the silent E. You can use the back to help you. Every time you make a list, you can use scratch paper, whatever you want. So make your own example, and then every day after this, I want you to practice spelling each of those words. Hey.